Wow. Henry T has butterflies all over him, inside out. I told you. Muhammad Ali told me, Henry T, when you stop getting butterflies, do something else. When you have butterflies, you love your work. Today, I love my work because you know how polarized Lobo men's basketball is in New Mexico for sure, but around the country. At one time, especially when our guest played for the Lobos, we had 18,000 full in the pit. The fire marshals outside banging on the door. I'm the fire marshal. Here's my badge. Let me in. Sorry, we don't have any more seats. It was packed. It was thrilling. The place was crazy. And this team, I mean, think of Clayton Shields, Kenny Thomas, Charles Smith, Lamont Long, and our beloved Sandy High School great, David Gibson, Royce Alding's on that team. In my opinion, that's the best team in Lobo history. We talked about Kenny, and we would talk about Marvin and Coop, but pound for pound, this is the best Lobo team ever. Today, ladies and gentlemen, what a blessing. Remember the night down at the Pan Am? Miss free throw, we're down one. Clayton Shields gets the miss and takes one step from the free throw line there at the Pan Am, fires it at the buzzer, boom! Lobos win by 2. The big 3 goes down. Incredible night. Everybody was stunned. The Pan Am Center went absolutely numb, quiet. And the guy jumping the highest out there is our guest today, the beloved great Lobo, averaged 16 points a game in that Lobo red, Clayton Shields. Clayton, Henry T here. How are you, man?
Hi, I'm doing well, Henry. Thanks for having me on. This is quite a surprise. It's been so long, but I'm very, very happy to be a part of this today. Good to see you, man. It's been a long time. And again, just thank you for bringing me on. I'm really excited about this.
Man, that was the most thrilling night after night with big scores, 100+ points for the Lobos. Clayton had 16. Charles had 21. Kenny had, 18. I mean, you guys ran up the scoreboard. You knocked the lights out of the board. You had so many points every night. What was that like playing at that pace?
That was the best way to play. I mean, we had so much fun to be able to just turn it on like that. We had guys that on any given night could put up such huge numbers, and that's what we did. You know, when if somebody was off, you know, one of our top guys was off, there was always going to be somebody that was going to be hot that night. So no matter what, one of those, especially one of those 4 or 5 guys that you mentioned, was going to be able to put up 20 plus points on any given night if anybody else was struggling. So to be able to lift each other up was just phenomenal, and it helped us in our success.
Clayton, you were awesome, man. One night on national TV, you break an all-time Lobo record. What did you have? 9 threes. You broke Marlo White's record. And then a month later, I guess Royce had 9, tied the record. And then Kendall at Colorado State one day broke all you guys' records.
Yes,
had
right.
10. That's some shooting right there.
That's some shooting. You know, they say records are made to be broken, and you know, at some point, you know, these young guys are gonna come in here and they're gonna have huge nights, and it's gonna trump some of the nights that we've had. But you know, I think the finished product, like you said, for our team, you know, of course, I'm a little bit biased, and I feel like our team was probably the best team that we had at UNM in UNM history at that time.
Your senior year, what year?
1998, set 97, 98.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 seed in the tournament, Louisville, number 6. You're going down to the wire. Oh my goodness, what a night. And timeout, Bliss calls timeout, sets up the play for Spider, for Charles, and we win it at the buzzer if the play is executed the way I understand it from you.
Mm-hmm.
Charles got guarded closely or decided not to go to the hole, passes off to Gibson, not enough time to really get a good shot, lose it at the buzzer. Do you remember that moment?
Yes, sir. That was going to be my junior year. That was Charles' senior year, and we had it drawn up for Charles. We had, we playing Louisville. They were a pretty tough team. We've been playing them closely all night, but we just did not execute the play as well as we should have. Charles was unable to get free to get the look that we wanted. David was kind of stuck in no man's land because David was a playmaker. He would rather get the ball to one of the scorers than take the shot himself, but he was kind of forced to do something because the time was running out, and it didn't work out for us that time.
Man, that would have been a chance that night, as I recall, to be in the Sweet 16 if
That's
you
correct.
win that game.
That's correct. Yeah, we would have gone to the Sweet 16, and we had a tremendous team. Once you get into that Sweet 16, you never know what happens. All you got to do is just get hot, and teams that get hot, they get to the Final Four, and we believe we would have had a chance to do that.
Really? Is that a Final Four capable team right there?
Oh, absolutely. That was absolutely Final Four capable. I think actually the national champs that year, I believe, was University of Arizona, whom we destroyed in the pit that same year. So if they won the championship, there's no doubt that we were capable of winning as well, given that we had beaten them that season.
National champs. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right there at your fingertips.
It was right there.
Play that game?
Sir?
We replayed that game against Louisville. The mistakes we made in that game could be rectified instantly with the talent you guys had on that floor.
Yes. I'll give it another opportunity. It would definitely been a different outcome. We just it was just right at the it was right there for us, but we can't reverse the time. We were really disappointed in that loss because of how good we felt about our team, and we were a higher seed. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You and me, that night you hit that thriller down at the Pan Am Center, beat the Aggies.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let that story go long enough a second ago. What did that feel like?
That was unbelievable because I was blaming myself for at the time I believe we were 10-0, and I was kind of after missing the free throws, I had my head down and I was blaming myself for costing us the game. And but again, standing at the free throw line when I forget the guy's name that was shooting the free throws, but when he was shooting the free throws, I was thinking to myself, I tell people this, I was thinking to myself, if he misses it, I'm going to make this shot. If he misses it, I'm going to make it. And I said that to myself in my head over and over again. And when he missed, that was what my mindset was. Okay, he missed. Now let's go make the shot. And I actually thought all of that in that process. People may not believe me, but I did.
And there's 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah.
1.5 or something, and used all of it.
Yeah.
When you let it fly, was there ever a doubt?
When the ball released from my hands, it was online, and it felt good. It felt good. Now we practiced that shot. That's something we practiced in practice. At the end of practice, we would shoot those shots. So I had made them plenty of times in practice before. So when it left my hands and it was online, I felt really good about it, and it banked in, and the rest was history. So it was just a great feeling to be able to have some redemption after missing those free throws and actually not costing my team the first loss of that season. So,
Clayton, think of your starting lineup. The 4 all-time in a row, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mm-hmm.
4 top leading scorers in Lobo basketball history are in your starting lineup.
That's correct. Yeah.
Charles,
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, Lamont Long, and
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yep. Yes,
That's
sir.
a strong 4.
We had a very strong 4. We had guys that are capable, like I said, putting up huge numbers on any given night. You know, Charles obviously came with what Charles did. Charles was a pure scorer. I mean, that's what he did. Um, Kenny Thomas could dominate any night down in the post. Lamont was kind of he was kind of one of those guys that slipped in under the radar. I think people didn't understand or realize how good Lamont was and how easy he could score. Lamont would have a game. We played a whole game, and at the end of the game, you know, Lamont would have 25 points. We'd be like, when did Lamont score 25 points? I mean, it was just so under the radar and almost like nobody really recognized it. But he was putting up huge numbers, and he'd have on top of that 10 or 11 rebounds. I mean, so he was putting up huge numbers at the end of the day, and you know, it was seemingly unrecognizable, but he was doing it all the time.
Wow, under the radar. I'm going
to
give him that nickname.
Under the radar, yeah.
Lamont Long.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. But, you know, being a Lobo, to every Lobo, maybe not in recent times, but when we had 18,000 seats, Lobos were Lobos. You guys are signing autographs before you put your first practice uniform on. People were meeting you at the airport. You were a Lobo, you were already a star. Am I right?
Absolutely. That was one of the alluring things for coming to New Mexico. When you got there, the love and you know, the fans and everything was so great. It was just amazing to come into such a atmosphere, and people coming to that, you want to play in it. I mean, there's no doubt. All you gotta do is go see it. Once you see it, there's no doubt you're gonna want to take a piece of that and play in that. So that's, I know for me and for a lot of other people that ended up signing with New Mexico, that was a huge factor in going to play there.
I love that word you just used, alluring. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That would allure great players in here.
Yes.
What did you think, seriously, in your bloodstream, in your vocabulary? By the way, you were blessed with a great vocabulary.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, one of the most articulate Lobos of all time.
There we go.
Shields. But the day you heard that 4,500 seats were removed from the pit, how did you feel on that day?
Never be the same. I just said, you know, they just took such a huge chunk away from the pit and from the fans and from just the home court advantage. That's part of the home court advantage. And we historically have been such a good home team, you know, and those additional 4,000 plus seats helped in that. I mean, the roar of the pit was intimidating to other teams coming in. We had teams that did not want to come play us in the pit. We tried to, I believe, have a home and home. I believe it was Georgetown at some point. Georgetown, they didn't want to come play in the pit. And if I remember correctly, it was Georgetown. They didn't want. They was like, we're not playing in the pit. I mean, it was just such a awesome venue to play in that, you know, other teams did not want to play there. So
camera down a little bit. There you go. There's our man, Clayton Shields, 6'7", quick as an alley cat, can shoot it from 3/4 court. We got the proof in the pudding. The fun experience, the experience in total of being a Lobo.
Absolutely. Tremendous experience. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. I would enjoy a trade. If I could do it again, I'd go play at UNM.
Wow. And you know, the night you hit that 75-footer in the pit, a lot of Lobos drove down there. Those are the days where the Lobos went everywhere with you guys, Lobo fans.
They did.
And because I'll never forget the roar of Lobo fans when you hit that shot in the Pan Am.
Mm-hmm.
They showed up, man. They were yelling and screaming, dancing in the Pan Am Center.
They were everywhere. Lobo fans were everywhere. We'd be in Hawaii, and there'd be Lobo fans packing the stands in Hawaii. I mean, it didn't matter where we played. That cherry silver was going to be in the stands all the time, no matter where we went.
You average 16 points a game throughout your career. That's a lot of points when you have a Charles Smith on the team, who he was a automatic scoring machine. You got Kenny could throw him in. You got all those players, and you throw in 16. Wow, what a blessing of talent every night on the floor for Coach Bliss.
It was. Any given night, there was somebody that was going to step up. And then, you mentioned something, the Royce Alneys, I mean, because he was the same way. I mean, Royce, he can come in the game, or I know our senior year he started, but he would come in and put up huge numbers sometimes, and that gave us a lift. I mean, any of those guys were giving us a lift on any night. That's what made us good.
What happened on that play against Louisville? Coach Bliss draws it up. It's for Charles to take it to the hoop. He gets guarded or something, decides to give it to David Gibson. What happened to make him change his mind? Do you recall?
I can't really recall. I want to say Louisville knew it was going to go to him, so they kind of I think they jumped him, put two guys on him, whether they denied him the ball, or I can't remember if he got it or if they denied it to him. I believe they denied the ball to him. David couldn't pass it to him because they switched all the screens, and they had people jumping out in the lanes to prevent Charles from getting the ball.
Where were you on the floor? Why not hit a three?
Yeah, it was. I think I was spread out, and Charles had the option. Once he got the ball, and Charles he was great at that. Was the driving kick. We always use driving kick. So Charles, had he been able to get the ball and drive, put his head down, try to drive to the basket. Coach wanted his shooters to be open on the wing, and so I remember being on the wing and being open. The defense would have collapsed on Charles, and he could have kicked it out. And if they didn't, then I'm sure he would have finished it at the basket. So
a lot of people say, man, Clayton was a sure NBA star. The way you could play it inside out, drive, you had great speed to run the floor. NBA for sure for Clayton Shields. What happened?
Yeah, that NBA is never a sure thing for anybody. There were so many people that I played with that did not go into the NBA, whether it was opponents, people that I played against, that found their way into the NBA, and they maybe weren't even so great in college. So it just kind of where the seed fell. For me, I was told later the NBA teams were a little bit skeptical because of a surgery I had when I was 12 years old, where I had a kidney removed. So that whole time I only played with one kidney, and so a lot of NBA teams didn't want to take that risk for me putting my body through something like that and having some kind of liability issue. So I was told later that was one of the big factors for teams passing on me when I went to do the physicals, and they realized, this guy's got one kidney. So it'd be tough playing in the NBA with that. But I played overseas. They didn't care. So I was able to play overseas for several years and enjoyed that.
Made a few bucks.
Made a few bucks, yeah, a couple of bucks.
Yeah. You've always been a very smart guy, scholar, athlete at UNM, very articulate, motivational speaker. Motivational is a big word for me. You are a motivational player, a motivational speaker. You have this articulate way about you. What is Clayton Shields doing today?
Clayton Shields is I now own a management and consulting company here in Texas. I launched it here recently over the last month and a half. Prior to that, I spent almost 14 years in law enforcement. So I've been a cop for a long time. But now I've transitioned into this company that we have, and it's growing pretty rapidly, and I just couldn't be in a better place right now.
Wow. A lot of people who admire you as a friend, as a colleague, as a fan, said that guy's going to be a minister someday because listen to his eloquent speech. And he's a holy man. He's going to be a pastor someday. Did that ever come to pass? Was it ever in your wheelhouse?
I never became a pastor. Now I am a commissioned chaplain here in Texas, so but never became pastoral. But being a chaplain, I'm able to help people when needed, and that's something that just I like my friends know. If they need those type of things, need prayer or just somebody to talk to, then I'm the person they'll come to, and I enjoy doing that with them. And it's likewise for me. I speak to my friends about things. That's what we do. Well, we're strong in prayer. So
you mentioned the name Clayton Shields in Gallup, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody raises their hand. They bow to your name being spoken. You're very popular in Gallup.
Yes, Gallup. I coached that team in Gallup. I had some really good players. Former New Mexico, Brandon Mason played on that team.
Yeah.
Lewis Richardson, who also played in New Mexico State, was on that team. We had some tremendous players on that team. Matt Bales, one of the native players that played on that team. We had a good time playing in Gallup for the Gallup Outlaws, or Gallup Talons. I'm sorry, the Gallup Talons. It's something that we thought could be bigger. It just didn't turn out to be as big as we hoped it would be. But spending time in Gallup, playing in front of those fans, and having some of those local people the opportunity to be able to see some very good basketball players was a tremendous experience.
To this day, do you follow the Lobos? And in recent years, they've fallen by the wayside a little bit. What's your observation of recent Lobo teams?
I'm a little bit biased. I always follow the Lobos. I'm going to always follow the Lobo basketball. I think that we've had some good teams. We've had some teams that had some talent, the talent to be able to be successful, go into the tournament and hope and do some damage. That's one of the things I was hoping to see. Hadn't quite gotten to that point. I mean, in years. I think since some of the, I know that Kendall Williams team and all those guys, and with Tony Snell and those guys, they did pretty well. And since then, I don't think there's been much success in that regard. But I'd just like to see the Lobos just continue to recruit, get high quality players. And my whole thing for us, and I think everyone that played for our team, was toughness. And that's some of the things I think sometimes there seems to be a little bit of a lack of toughness out there. But, if that's something that they can get players that are just extremely tough and hard-nosed, I think they can.
Our athletic director, Clayton, just fixed that problem. Hiring Richard Pitino, the son of the famous Rick Pitino.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that special blood in you, you've been in that show your whole life following your dad to all the big events around the country, you learn a little bit from your dad.
Right. Absolutely.
Has been, wow, successful every walk of his career. And his son Richard taking those mental notes every year, following dad, learning how to coach, learning how to recruit. We've got Richard here now.
Right.
What do you expect will happen?
I expect the name to bring in some of the top athletes from around the country. I mean, that's going to be first and foremost. He's a Pitino. So in that regard, people are going to see that name. They're going to align him with his dad. And that's something that's going to be very attractive for UNM. I think that's already started to happen. So now all Coach Pitino has to do now is put it all together and be able to, have a team that can produce on the court and take the Lobos hopefully further than they've ever been. So my hope is that he commits to UNM for quite some time. I just hope that he doesn't that it's not something where he's just a stop for him to kind of rebuild his resume and then move on. We saw Coach Alford do that, and so I hope he just commits to UNM. And I think if he does, he'll be able to get the players and he'll actually be able to probably be one of the better coaches in UNM history if he can do that.
Why don't you turn construction contractor and you and some friends come back and put those 4,500 seats back into the pit, bring the mezzanine back, have the students sit where they used to sit. Man,
yeah,
that changed what was great success. How about you orchestrate the renewal of the pit? Come on, Clayton, you got the connections. Bring 4,500 back into the pit. Like
yeah. Let's get
old days.
Let's get the petition started. I think I don't know exactly what that would entail, what we would need to do it. But those seats need to go back. I agree. Those seats need to go back. The pit needs to be as intimidating as the place as it was before years past. We need people that don't want to come play here. We need the powerhouse schools that to recognize again that, hey, UNM is back, and that's something that I would really, really like to see, to be honest with you.
Hey, you and your buddies, when you'd come down that ramp, you came down with passion. You hear that crowd, and then you would see the crowd as they saw you. What was that feeling right there instantaneously when the crowd saw their beloved Lobos hit the pit?
Well, I can tell you this, running down that ramp, once you get to a certain point in that ramp where the first players start to emerge and the crowd starts to see them come out, and that deafening roar, it's almost like your head just it just fills your head. It's just loud. It's so loud, that deafening roar. And as you run in there, that crowd just begins to just get so loud, and that's what kind of gets the adrenaline going. And at that time, hey, we're ready to go.
You're already 5 points ahead, man.
Yeah, we're right there. We're 5 points ahead. Might as well start the game 5-0 just from that. Yes, sir.
You played against some great players around the league, around the country.
Right.
You ever recall who you played against? Oh,
absolutely. Yes, sir. We played against some very good players. I mean, one of the big rivals for me, and always the talk was me against Keith Van Horn. Yeah, so Keith Van Horn had a special interest in me as a player. I always wanted to shut him down. Didn't always work out, but I think I played pretty good against him for the most part. And I think he even mentioned such in an interview years and years ago. So, he was one of the big name players. But those Utah guys, that was one of our most hated, I think, rivals, other than New Mexico State, but University of Utah. But
rivals were really rivals then.
They were. Fresno State
showed up to watch.
Yes. Yeah. Those games were battles. We had a triple overtime game against Fresno State. I don't know if you recall that. My sophomore year, and we won. But Fresno State had a really big team, and they had that Dominic Young, that was the little point guard that could shoot lights out, and they had a big guy in the middle. I forgot his name, but he was huge, like he was big, like Shaq. And yeah, so I mean, that triple overtime game was pretty interesting, and just playing the games like that was just so memorable.
Is that the game where Tark coached Fresno State?
Tark was the coach. That's right.
There were no seats left.
There was no seats. No, there were no seats left. And Charles had to make free throws to go in overtime, and he made them, and we went to that third overtime. We were able to win. So, yeah, those good times playing some of those, going to some of those battles.
It's great for you and I to reminisce those times, because we as fans want those times back. They've been missing around here. There's no games of consequence anymore.
Yes.
And we're expected to lose now. That's not Lobo land. Come on.
It's not Lobo land. That's people are not going to get used to that. Lobos fans are not going to accept that at no point ever. That's not what's planned for UNM, representing University of New Mexico, the city of Albuquerque. That's not what the expectation is. You have to go in there. You have to win. You have to find a way to win. And
Seeded number 3 in the NCAA tournament, like you guys. Now that's
right.
expectation right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And there were so many tears after that game against Louisville, and you know it. They're right there with you. Heartbreak. Man,
yeah, absolutely.
Of heartbreak.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you fight so hard to get there. You know, you only have a limited amount of time. You know, guys have 4 years in college to do something, and you know, when you lose that game in the tournament, you know, that's another year gone. So you definitely want to make the best out of it every time you step on the floor.
Have that kidney thing not shown up with you? I projected then. I go back in time and ask why not. You could have been an NBA star with your versatility, inside out, speed, running the floor, passing ability, teammate orientation. That's how I feel that you could have been. How do you feel?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that that was one of the things that was a big factor in me not being able to, you know, be selected. I absolutely felt like if I would have been able to play in the NBA, I would have had a very good career. I would have been able to have some longevity, adapted to, because I feel like I can adapt to whatever teams needed me to do, you know, because I could do so many different things. You know, if you needed me to be a shooter or a rebounder, a slasher, whatever, I mean, whatever it was to be, I felt like I can do that for whatever the role was for any NBA team. So, but just not having an opportunity to do it, you know, it didn't work out. I was able to go overseas and I spent roughly 5 years playing overseas. And, you know, I just took the best of that before coming back and beginning my career here.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, what a thrill we have today. Special moment in our time to visit with one of the greatest Lobos ever with a capital G, Clayton Shields. Articulate, he was funny, best vocabulary any of us have ever heard. And there have been some pretty smart Lobos, but this guy had that colorful vocabulary. Man, you were gifted with the gift of gab. Where'd you get that?
Yeah, that's what my wife tells me. But yes, sir.
Flavor out of anything, I'm sure.
Right. Absolutely, sir. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's just something that's come natural. I just try to take the ego out of everything. I don't, you know, I'm just me personally, my personality. I'm just a fun-loving guy. I can be friends with anybody. I could talk to anybody, and you know, hey, as far as I know, I don't have any enemies. So I think that's good.
Yeah, I bet there would even be a way for you to slip in if they ever have another application orientation for possible coaching candidates at UNM. Have you ever thought of that part of the game to be a coach?
Yes, sir. That was my initially what I wanted to do, and that's why I coached out. You know, I was coaching at Rio Grande High School there with Coach Garcia uh, for a little while, and then I went and coached in Gallup, coached a semi-pro team.
Yeah.
And if you ask, you know, Brandon Mason, I still talk to a lot of these guys, and I was good at it. I was a good coach. I was very good at motivating players, getting the best out of them, putting the game plan together. So that's something that I know that I would be good at doing. I hadn't had many opportunities since then to get into it, but I still love basketball. I still have the knowledge of basketball, and I will be an effective coach. There's no doubt about it. Should I seek that position?
Or any coach? A recruiter for Coach Pitino. You got some contacts out there in Texas, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes, sir. I just spoke to one one old contact who was a coach when I was at UNM. He's now coaching at TCU. I just spoke to Tony Benford 2 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he called me. He's doing well. He's coaching at TCU, and you know, which is only about 35 minutes from where I live. So, no, he's doing well. He's out recruiting. So,
you and Tony Benford would be a great duo as a coaching team. What do you think?
I agree. I agree. Tony's, he's had some head coaching opportunities. He's coached some big time schools as an assistant coach too. He's coached at, he's been in Nebraska. He recently was at LSU before going to TCU. He also coached at University of North Texas when I went up there and saw him as well. So he's had some experience over the years of being at some pretty big time schools.
He took LSU to the Final Four, right?
He did. The head coach for the team was suspended for whatever reason it was. I don't recall, but Tony took the reins and did very well with that team.
Well, he's one of the all-time legends to come out of Hobbs, New Mexico.
That's right.
Played for Ralph Tasker. Wow, what a player!
That's right. Yeah.
Good guy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's.
You guys would make a great team.
I believe so.
To young man, Clayton. I hope I typed up a possibility back in the brain that you could be a great D1 coach someday.
Yes, sir. If that was something that panned out for me, I would jump at that opportunity at any moment. Again, that's something I hadn't delved into, try to put my name into anything like that. But I absolutely agree. I feel like basketball is probably the thing I know the most. So I feel like I would really be good.
You got a terrific wife, because you're a great guy, and
yes.
Only a great woman would hang out with a great guy like you, Clayton. Describe your wife.
Oh, ultra supportive. My wife is from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Wow. So, yeah, I brought one. I stole one from New Mexico and brought her to Texas. But but no, she's ultra supportive of me, and just awesome. We've been married. We're in our 18th year of marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. So we are just ultra supportive of each other. But she is awesome. She is awesome. She pushes me, motivates me, and just allows me to be the husband and father, the best husband and father that I can be. And there's no doubt that she has an impact on.
What's it like being a dad?
Oh, I love it. I love being a dad. That is probably the best part of my life right now. I mean, just having kids that just want to learn and get information from me and be with you and be like you. It's joyous. I got a son that played basketball, and he played over in Australia, and to see, my boys wear number 22, and things like that. It's just an awesome feeling just to know that I rubbed off on them in some way, in a positive way.
How about some night you come to the pit and put on a little exhibition for the fans of where you used to shoot the ball, teach all those kids in the stands proper way to shoot like Clayton Shields did, who averaged 16 points a game in his career as a Lobo. Man, the Clayton Shields Clinic for 2 nights in the pit. Get your tickets early. Clayton's going to put on a clinic for us.
Oh, yeah.
Got it, man.
Hey, I would love it. I would need some help though, because as decent of a shooter as I wasn't the best shooter on our team, and so we would need Royce Olney. We would need Royce Olney to be there as well, because Royce was probably the purest shooter I've ever seen, and that's in college, high school, playing overseas, anything. I mean, so no, that would be fun.
We get you and Charles and Kenny and Royce, and bring David Gibson back to just give you guys each a pass. Lamont Long will be there. That would be a thrill for our fans. For hello again to those Lobos of that special team. I mean it. That would be a great promotion.
That would be fun. All of us are still like brothers. We all still, so it'll be great for us to get together and be able to be around each other. It'd be like we didn't even miss a beat.
Wow, you still call each other? Hello, how are you?
Either through that or social media. I've been playing golf with Charles Smith like for the last 3 weeks. We've played about 3 or 4 times. So me and Charles hang out a lot out here in Dallas area. you know, Kenny, I talk to Kenny all the time. I talk to Kenny probably once a week. The other guys, Lamont, those guys, through social media, I stay in touch with them. Royce, I talk to Royce here periodically. Every once in a while we talk. So yeah, we stay in touch quite a bit.
I mean, really, no kidding around, ladies and gentlemen. Think of the shooters, scores on that team. Man, from the technique to hitting the bottom of the net, that was a unique Lobo team, Clayton. You believe me?
Oh, I believe you 100%. I mean, like you said, we had the top 4 scorers in the history of UNM. We all were on the same team. So I think that says it all.
Wow. Can you still put it in the hole?
Like riding a bike. Never forget how to do it. It's like riding a bike.
Your son, who obviously is a great player, you and him in the backyard, pretty good games?
Pretty good games. He's way more athletic than I ever was. So, you know, I've gotten older now, so I'd have to hold in the foul a whole lot to try to keep up. But if we played horse and we were just shooting, I'd win. But playing one-on-one, I don't think I can keep up with him.
All right, time to be a minister, a leader. Our society has got some distractions for our kids right now. A little mixed up which way to go. How do I get it straight? Is there an answer? You're articulate, you're a holy man. What's the answer for our youth who go a little bit wayward in modern times?
I think the youth need to look at history, because not many of them know anything about any historical facts. But you know, things change and times change, and I get that. When I was growing up, the things that I was into and the things that I did, my mom and dad were like, "You're nuts. This is not what you should do. This is not the way you should do things," because they were, we said, old school. Now that I've become kind of old school, you know, the things that kids are doing now, I'm like, that's not how you do things. It's nuts. It's crazy. Whether I'm right or wrong about that remains to be seen. I think that the change is kind of what impacts, especially us a little bit older crowd, because there's things so much different than when we were growing up. But I would tell kids to, you know, be motivated, be a productive member of society, because we do have this, you know, give me kind of attitude, and a lot of people that just lay around and just want stuff given to them, and that's just not how it works. I'll never agree that that's how it works, and that's something that I would definitely try to talk out of people. No, you have to put forth effort in everything. Anything you want, you have to apply effort to it. You don't do that, it's not going to happen.
How hard did you work, Clayton? How hard did you work at your skills when you were growing up? And who was your inspirational leader?
I worked without even recognizing that I was working at being a basketball player and doing the things that I wanted to be good at. That was what we did. When I was coming up, you know, I always tell my boys this, you know, we had video games, but we weren't in the house. We were in the gym all the time. I had a basketball with me all the time. If I was going anywhere, I was dribbling the basketball. I'd be laying on the ground on the carpet watching TV, and I'd be shooting the basketball on my back, laying on my back, and I would just be shooting the basketball up and catching it, shooting it up and catching it, shooting it up and catching it. I'll be doing that for hours. And I tell people, I believe that helped me become a shooter, because I'm not even realizing what I'm doing. When I'm sitting on a chair, I would play with the ball. I would dribble through my legs. I would go around my legs. I would do all kinds of things while I'm just sitting there, really not doing anything else. So without even knowing that I was sharpening skills, I was doing that by just doing something. And any other times than that, we were in the gym playing. So I don't see that a lot these days. That's something that's really, really declined over the years. I go to the gyms now. I go to the local YMCA here, and there's not many kids in there playing, where the local YMCA where I grew up was packed all the time. But people, you know, sometimes you have to wait, you know, an hour or two to even play again if you lost. You know, so I just don't see that anymore.
You know, our fans are going to be thrilled. They're going to see you on Facebook. It'll run all day. It'll run tomorrow. You can go to it anytime. Text all your good buddies. Facebook them a message because
Okay.
the all-time great Lobo, Clayton Shields, is on the Henry T Show today. And man, what a thrill. Back when I was the play-by-play man for the Lobos during Marvin Johnson's days, great Michael Cooper, Henry Teaser going crazy with 18,000 fans. I did the same when Clayton was on the floor. Man, we miss those exciting days. But they're going to come back tonight in your vision and your memory if you replay this show tonight. Tell all your friends, Clayton Shields on the Henry T Show. Wow. Man, get out of the way, bring me a steak right here and baked beans too. And I'm going to rewatch the Clayton Shields episodes with Henry T tonight.
Yes, sir.
Big to us, Clayton. The fact that you're on this show today, the numbers will be enhanced and they'll rerun this thing because you didn't disappoint us again. You gave us that flair, that personality. We're in love with you again. We recall the great memories, and we even gave you 5 more feet to your big shot.
You did. Yes, you did. You added a little bit to it, but that's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, maybe next time it'll be a 100-foot shot. You know, so we'll see. It'll keep on growing.
Amen. Like fishing stories, man.
That's right.
You keep getting bigger. Really, right. If you're driving on the freeway out there in Texas and you're recalling your greatest days and you're with God and you're counting your blessings, what do you think about pertaining to you got the ball, you're going to the hole, slam dunk, Lobos win. What do you recall of your great Lobo past, Clayton?
Oh, there's so much. There's so much to recall. And the thing about it is it, you know, it's not all me. One thing I really recall is Royce hitting that shot against Utah.
Yeah.
We were down and we started pressing them, and Andre Miller turned the ball over a few times, and Royce kept knocking down shots. And then, so that play, you know, Coach Bliss drew up a play for David to bring the ball down and create a drive and kick opportunity for us to get an open shot to try to win the game. David never got the ball. Roy said, I want the ball. And he got the ball from the inbound, and he slowly dribbled it up the court. He walked up the court, and probably 1 or 2 steps after crossing half court, he shoots a 3-pointer, makes it. We go up 77-74 to win the game. So things like that, just, you know, you just be like, man, Royce is just so, man, he just has so much confidence, you know. Me, you know, I think about the TCU game. I think about our game against Georgetown, you know, playing against Allen Iverson and all those things like that. I mean, there's just so many memories to go through my mind when I think about my playing career.
Did you get to talk to Iverson on the floor? What did he say to you?
He didn't say anything to me on the floor. You know, I only got switched up on him one time. I didn't want to get in front of him at all because I didn't want to be embarrassed.
How good is he?
Fast. I mean, just his speed was ridiculous. And I think that was the thing that made him so hard to guard, was that he was probably the fastest person I've ever played against. I mean, he's just so quick. But you know, I did talk to him later on. He became a future teammate of Kenny Thomas's in Philadelphia. He spent some time in Albuquerque. He spent some time, so I was able to speak to him a little bit here and there during that time. And he remembered playing against UNM. You know, I think that they thought we would be an easy win, and we weren't as easy as they thought. So,
yeah, amen.
Yeah.
And who was it that hit Royce where it hurts?
Victor Page.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, Royce went down like he was shot.
He did. He did, and Royce could be shot and still play in the game. I mean, he's just that tough and dedicated. And so, for Royce to kind of be affected by that, I knew it had been, pretty significant for him. So,
but when you get shot there, it hurts a little more.
It hurts. That's that delayed pain, So I think Royce had that a little bit, but as typical of Royce, he shook it off. And the only thing that stopped Royce was that knee injury our senior year, and it's because he couldn't. And he was actually playing on it after it happened. He actually played on it for before they realized it was torn. And,
how do you measure the heart of a Royce Only and a Clayton Shields? When you come to measuring the heart, I'll just take you two. There were others on your team. The heart of a Clayton Shields and the heart of a Royce Only. You're the author. You're describing for your book. How do you describe Clayton Shields, Royce Only, the heart effect?
Yeah, both of us are extremely, extremely passionate, and we always get up. That's our mindset. Is you always get up. So bad games, bad practices, something bad happens. You always get up. You never stay down. And Royce being my roommate my freshman year in college, a lot of him rubbed off on me in that, and I became kind of more like Royce in that aspect, in that regard. So we just don't quit. We don't. We always get up. Never stop fighting. Never stop trying to be better. And again, like you said, that applies to a lot of people that we played with. But for me and Royce, that was a constant, and I'm that way to this day.
Never quit. Wow. Because as big time athletes, you get tired. You got to go deeper. How do you go deeper for something you really can't see, but it's there? It's an intangible, but you're able to go deeper for more effort to get your team to victory lane. How do you do that?
You learn to ignore the pain. Being tired, being hurt, being bruised, all that. You just, it's almost like putting ice on something. When you put ice on something, at first it hurts, right? The ice is cold and it's uncomfortable. And after about 4 or 5 minutes, you no longer feel it because the ice has numbed it. So it's kind of the same thing. You find a way to ignore it. And then at some point you forget it's there. So and you're able to just keep going. So that's what we try to do. Is just play through it. We always say just play through it, suck it up and play through it. And whatever it was, that's what we did. And at some point, we forgot it was even existing.
Funniest, later. Most enjoyable, the guy that kept you the most loose of all your teammates in your history as a Lobo, who is the loosey goose of all time?
Oh, goodness. The guy that kept us most look.
Was it Royce?
I keep throwing his name out there. It's Royce. It's Royce. He kept everyone like that. He kept the whole team like that. There's something about, that TRC toughness and that mentality that just rubbed off on a lot of guys. And he always, we were always put in that position with Royce. He knew how to lighten us up, but at the same time have us ready. So
in your description of him, the play's not drawn up for him. Would you say it was drawn up for Kenny inside? And Royce brings it down, and he just said, "No, Bliss, not tonight. I'm taking charge here." They already had the gurney out for Miller. Their big coach was out there screaming at the refs.
Yeah.
And then it was Lobo time. 18,000-seat arena going crazy. The number 3 team in the country, Utah, is there. You've got them at the buzzer, and Royce says, "It's Royce time."
That's exactly what he did. He waved David off, and he stood there. He was supposed to run down the court. He wasn't supposed to be where he was, but he wasn't gonna leave that spot. We had 5 seconds to throw the ball in, so so he got the ball and he waved everybody out of the way and he walked it up, and then he took that shot and made it. And so
Like
That
your
says
shot,
all you can know about
Clayton,
Royce. Sir,
like your shot, his shot keeps getting longer by the minute.
it does.
And
It does.
he tells the story. He told me not long ago on this show. As soon as that ball went down, crowd going crazy, he ran up the ramp because there was still 3 seconds left.
He
And
did.
Hanala, or whatever his name was, hit one right after the buzzer. They would have given Utah the win. He said, I'm out of here, man. This game's over. But it really wasn't.
No, it wasn't. The guy made the shot. Miller pushed it. I mean, Utah was a disciplined team. That shot goes in. They don't look around and say, what just happened? They got the ball, threw it in, and pushed it up the court and kicked it out to one of their shooters, and the buzzer went off, and then the shot went in. Or then he released the shot. So it was very, very, very close. But we celebrated on the court. We couldn't find Royce, and we found him in the locker room, and he was just pacing in the locker room by himself, up and down the locker room, and he was just saying, "Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby." So he was pumping his fist. So, I mean, that Royce knew he had just probably hit the biggest shot of his career. And
Clayton, tell me,
yes, sir,
is that a good time to remember that moment?
one of the best times, one of the best times, beating Utah. And for they were 18-0 at that time, undefeated, like you said, ranked number 2 or 3 in the country. And when we were down, I mean, they were handing it to us. And for us to come back against that team like that, with that kind of discipline, with a future NBA point guard, and be able to come back and create some turnovers and win that game with on ABC, national TV was pretty tremendous.
Man, and this has been such a joy for Henry T to have you on the show today, to just talk nonstop about you, Lobo Land, and everything. We haven't skipped a beat, Clayton.
No, we haven't.
A unique classic TV show without a doubt. And you made it happen.
Oh, this is my pleasure. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope at some point in the future you say, "Hey, Clayton, will you do it again?" Absolutely. I'm answering you right now. Absolutely.
Hey, you're a godly man. You've got a lot of faith. Your godliness helps you be a leader for your wife and your kids. Tell us about your faith, Clayton.
I'm a believer. I'm a Christian believer. My wife and I, my family, we all have accepted Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, and that's what we are, and that's what we try to live by. We just everything that we do is through faith in Him. We don't have any other regards for anything else other than He's in control. So that's what's worked for us. That's what we believe, and that's been tremendous for myself and for my children. My children, my boys they all believe the same. They're all faithful kids, and they lead their lives in such a way too.
One of these days, in your backyard, Jesus knocks at the door, Clayton, and he says, "Clayton, my name is Jesus. I got some new sneakers, got a brand new ball. We'll use your court. We'll play 20 baskets. How about it? What do you say?"
Well, I'm not going to win that, but I'll put forth the effort. But I'm not going to win that. That's 20 baskets.
Puts one up, and you slap it over the wall into your neighbor's yard.
Oh goodness, I doubt that'll happen, but
but it's his ball out of bounds, and he's bringing it in to retaliate on you, and he's gonna have the spectacular shot for you, bro.
Yeah. Oh goodness, yeah. I don't know how to respond to that one.
Hey, one last minute to say bye to your beloved fans here in New Mexico. What do you say?
I just thanked all the Lobo fans for being Lobo fans, for providing the atmosphere that I had the opportunity to play in. I enjoyed every moment of it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. if I had the opportunity to go back to UNM and do the same thing, I would do it again. The way the team's going now, hopefully they'll be able to rebuild and get back to the point, or even better than the teams that we've had. So, yeah, don't lose your faith in Lobo basketball. Keep supporting them. I'm gonna keep supporting them, and let's just look forward to the positivity in the future.
Clayton, we love you, bro. Take care of yourself.
Yes, sir. Love you, Henry T. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. See you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, how about that? Was that spectacular? I told you would be, and there it was. Rewind it again and again and again, and share it with your friends on Facebook, The Henry T. Show with Clayton Shields. Wow, what a moment in time. Thank you to our sponsors for putting on this show. Oh my goodness, are they good to us. We'll see you soon. Amestoy Drywall. There you are. And we got Indigo Mortgage, Rax Lumber Company. Yeah, we got the canteen there, the Hydro Bar, and Action Jackson Compaction. Ladies and gentlemen, see you soon. Love you. Take care. And ProView Networks is going to have you on and on and on. See you later, everybody. Thank you, Jimmy Tran, and our great producers all over. See you later. Alden's here. Alden, you're the second greatest. Take care.